Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Brave Kids Art Club. My name is Brad and today is Friday. Holy smokes, today is Friday. It's the end of the week. But today we have one more amazing animal, actually insect, that we're going to be drawing today. And this happens to be one of my most favorite insects of all. So I'm really excited to draw it. Let me give you a few hints to see if you can figure out which one it is. This insect has not 2, but 4 wings. It can fly up and down and hover like a helicopter. And it has a really long abdomen. Do you know which insect this is? That's right, we're drawing a dragonfly today. I just think dragonflies are so cool. They come in so many amazing colors and they just look really neat when you see them flying around. So I'm excited, hopefully you're excited too. Let's make sure we have everything we need to get started and let's go. All right, make sure you have a nice clean sheet of paper out. You're also gonna need a pencil like we always do. We like to start with a sketch. And then if we sketch, we're inevitably going to need to erase at some point. So make sure you have an eraser handy. And then we'll also need a dark marker or a pen to do our outlining at the end. And at the very end, I should say, we're gonna be doing some coloring, which is gonna be so much fun for a dragonfly. So we'll get that done. If you have markers, crayons, watercolors, whatever you wanna use, that all works just fine. Okay, let's start with our sketch. Now I'm gonna draw a down view of our dragonfly. Like if you were hovering above our dragonfly, that's what we're gonna see right here. So I'm gonna put my page vertically, or portrait, and that way we can have enough room for the whole body, because they have a really long abdomen, or it looks like their tail is really long. And so we gotta be able to fit that in. So it's really important that we do a sketch now so we can figure out if we can fit everything inside this page. Let's start with let's draw where the top and the bottom will be, just so we kind of know how big this is gonna be. So maybe we'll say the top of our dragonfly is gonna be right about here, the face, and then maybe the tail's gonna go down to maybe about here. I would like it to go really long and fill the page. The problem is that those wings are also really big. We wanna make sure those fit in here as well. So we're gonna do some loose sketching to kind of figure out the right scale. It's the right size. Okay, so if this is the top, I'm gonna round this off, and I'm gonna put 2 circles next to each other for the big eyeballs. Now, normally their eyeballs kind of look like this. I'm gonna draw that first. They kind of look like that. They're more oval. But mine is going to be a character, so I want them to be a happy little character. So I'm gonna give them big round eyes. That's just a choice I wanna make as the creative. There we go. Maybe we'll have them looking off to the side over there. The big pupil to make them extra friendly. There we go. Perfect. And then, so we got their little head on there. Now we got to get their thorax, which is right here. And it's about this shape. Watch this. It almost looks like a peanut. A peanut in its shell here. Like this. So draw this out here, and then we're gonna kind of go out like a peanut. Whoop. Like that. That makes sense? There we go. Just like a peanut. And I believe this part is part of the abdomen now, not the thorax. We just drew the thorax. I'm gonna draw kind of this shape right here, kind of curved off. Like that, maybe a little bit smaller. Yeah, maybe a little bit smaller. I'm not sure which part of the body that is, because there's so many different places that their body kind of is sectioned off into, so I'm not really sure if that is, because the thorax is right here. You have the head, the thorax, and the abdomen, but I'm not really sure if that is part of it or part of this. I just know that there's a little separation there. So, and then I'm just gonna draw a really faint line right in the middle, just to kind of get an idea of how long this tail is gonna be. We'll just go straight down. You know, I want that tail to be kind of longer. So I made this a little bit low. I could move the whole thing up now, but I think I'm okay. I think I like how this is gonna look. So their tail is really long, or that abdomen, it's not really a tail, it's more their abdomen is really long. So we'll do that. So that line's there because what I'm gonna do next is give it, there's usually 10 segments. Now I don't really care if there's exactly 10, but this is what they're gonna look like for me. I wanna make them kind of look like this. Like that. Does that make sense? So that's what their tail looks like. It kind of goes off like that, But I like how we have a guide here so we can kind of make everything, we make sure that line's running in the center, and I think we're in good shape. Like that. Now, if you've ever seen a slow motion video of a dragonfly going through metamorphosis, which actually means it's changing from a different kind of bug or a different shape of bug into itself. Kind of like a caterpillar changes into a butterfly. These actually are like these other little bugs that are underwater for about 2 years. They're a completely different type of bug is what they look like, and they have gills so they can breathe underwater. And then when they come out of the water, they'll get up on like a little leaf or something like that. Then their exoskeleton on the outside gets really hard, and then on the inside there's lots of changes happening. And that's where the dragonfly is actually making its wings and all those other things on the inside. So when it finally does crack open, it's amazing how it looks. This little tail is almost like a telescope. It's all crunched in there, and then when it pops out, it goes doot, 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 doot. It's pretty cool. And the wings get bigger and bigger and bigger over a few hours. It's really neat. So look it up, the metamorphosis of a dragonfly. They start off as little bugs under the water. They turn into these amazing, how many do I have of these actually? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I might be able to do 10. 9, 10. Awesome. Well, they do have 10 segments, and I was able to fit that in. I wasn't really worried too much, and you shouldn't be worried about it, but it's kind of cool if it does. And they have these little things at the end. I'm not sure what those are, but they have those little guys at the very end. Okay. And we can erase that stuff in the middle. If it helps you, you can do that real quick. Just, we're not going to draw over that with the permanent marker, so you don't have to, you can get rid of that to make it so it's easier to remember. But here we are. So their body isn't really that hard to draw, and then all we have to do is add wings onto it, and we're done. And the wings are arguably the coolest part. So I'm going to first start drawing maybe right about here. We're going to have a line go all the way out here, and maybe go to about here. I'm going to do it at the bottom right here of that wing, but it's going to start going up like that. I'm going to curve it off, kind of at an angle. Ooh, that looks kind of cool. Now the hard part again is what? Making this symmetrical. Same on both sides. So before I do that other wing, maybe I'll just go straight to doing this one. They're so very unique, only having, or actually only, having 4 wings and not having only 2 wings, like most bugs. And what's really interesting about that is the way that they actually fly. There are different muscles inside their back or their thorax right here that allow them to move differently. So their wings can do some really cool things and allows them to fly in a really neat way. It makes them so they can go up and down really fast, makes them fly faster because they're stronger, they have more wings, but they also can conserve energy when they're flying because only one of the wings can fly and push some pressure and wind under the other one so they can kind of hover around. Lots of really cool things that they can do because of those wings. But I thought that was just so fascinating to see them fly. You can watch a slow motion video of them flying too, and it looks really neat seeing how their wings move. In fact, scientists and engineers are trying to copy the way that the dragonfly flies, the way their wings work, for making robots. I thought that was really cool. That's just another example of biomimicry, where we copy or mimic nature. Because nature is pretty darn cool. These animals and insects are got so many cool things about them that we can learn from. Oh, maybe I'll make that a little bit lower. So same type of thing on the bottom wing. I just did a little curve right there to go up into the body. It looks a little different on the bottom wing, just a little bit. Ooh, there we are. That's looking really fun. Now it looks a little messy in the middle, so let's erase some of this stuff. Now they're actually translucent so you can see through them, but to make our lives a little easier, we're not going to worry about that. We don't have to worry about that. We're just going to, we'll just have them be a solid color and make it look pretty cool. There we are. Now there's lots of other little lines and things that you can draw on here. Okay, now you also have their little legs that are under here, like this. And we actually have 6 legs, But the other ones are going to be, there's going to be 2 of them underneath these wings that we're not going to see. And then you're going to see these guys that kind of go out like this. I'll put little, oh I forgot, I'll put 2 on there. Have those sticking out. Now where do you normally see dragonflies? Normally I see them around the water. They love to eat insects and, oh, that one got a little carried away. See, it's hard to make it symmetrical. They love to eat insects, especially mosquitoes. But nobody likes mosquitoes. They bite and make you itchy, so it's really nice that we have dragonflies around that eat those for us. Take care of those. They love to eat bugs. Even underwater they eat a lot of bugs too. That's what they ate. But isn't that crazy that they had gills and lived underwater? And now that they're not in the water, they breathe through a little hole back here, which is kind of crazy to think. But anyways, I'm getting a little carried away. So now I think we're ready to go to our marker to do our outline. And I'm gonna start with, let's start with the wings. Let's start with the wings. These really cool wings. Now most of them, their wingspan, which is the length of their wings on both sides together, so this length right here, that whole length is usually between 2 and 5 inches. So not very big. I mean, 5 inches, I feel like that actually would be kind of a bigger wingspan for a dragonfly. That's a bigger dragonfly. And those are modern day dragonflies. That means dragonflies that we have today around that you see. But the prehistoric ones, the ones that were millions of years ago, because these have been around for a very long time, they were up to 2 feet long. That's like 2 feet wide, I should say, their wingspan. That means they were just mega dragonflies. If you can imagine these dragonflies about this big flying around. Would that be crazy? I think it'd be crazy to see one of those. But and the reason why we know that they were so big is because we have fossils of giant dragonflies. That is pretty neat. And they're pretty, I mean, obviously they're friendly. You never really hear of anybody getting bitten by a dragonfly or harassed by a dragonfly. So that would be kind of, I don't know, it might be kind of cool to see one that big. That would have been pretty neat. All right, so I'm going to draw the body right here. A lot of dragonflies have these really cool colors, and some are like iridescent, where they kind of shine and change color depending on the way the sun or the light hits them. So like greens turn into kind of blues, and purples look kind of pink, and oh, they look really cool. Well, we're just gonna do a little bump right here for the face. Now they do have little extra stuff. It's a little more complicated right there in the face, but you know what? We're not gonna make it complicated. We're just gonna draw a little circle there. Or half a circle. And let's draw these little arms. There we are. I love drawing insect legs because they're just little sticks, and sometimes they're little hairy legs, and they're kind of fun to draw. Then we're going to draw the body. And I'm going to draw these little legs back here, but I'm going to kind of have them more like this. Not sticking out so much. I don't think they stick out that much now that I think about it. So we'll put them back there like that, and then we're going to do this. I think this part, like I said, I think this part is part of the abdomen. I think that's part of the abdomen. That's the thorax. This is the abdomen. And then we'll do all those little segments right there. Like that. It's kind of cool to think that this was just like a little telescope, because when they were bugs under the water, they were a lot shorter. They weren't as long. And then they come out and they have like these big long tails. They must have been in there somehow, so they're all just like almost like an accordion. Pull those out. That's kind of neat. Oh, we got the eyes. We got the pupils and the eyes. Let's do that. Big friendly pupils. There we go. Their eyes are really cool because they have a fantastic sight and range of sight. So they can see all around here, every direction, all around them, except for right here. They can't see immediately behind them, but they can see everywhere else, which is really neat. And probably explains why they're such good hunters, because when they're looking for their prey, when they're going to get the bugs flying around, they actually grab them with their feet. And scientists have done experiments where they've released a certain amount of bugs, and they say they get about 95% of the bugs that they release in there. Not pretty crazy? I mean, that's a lot of it. That means they get almost every bug that's out there that are in their little space, they're able to catch. So they're really good hunters. Probably has, you know, something to do with their wings and all of that. But I'm gonna go ahead now. I think I'm ready to go in color, which is gonna be so much fun. I have other little lines and things like little veins I wanna put in the wings. And I'll do that all with color. So hopefully you are ready to do that. If not, you can go ahead and just press pause and take your time. But I'll catch up right after I'm done coloring, and we'll get going. And there we are. Oh, I love the pink. I love the pink on there. I thought that was kind of a fun idea to do some little pop of pink in there and have the orange eyes. They have so many cool colors. I mean, you could do anything and it would still look amazing. So hopefully you had a lot of fun. Don't ever feel confined to sticking to the colors of that specific animal. Unless it really helps make it look like the animal and that's what you're going for. You should have a lot of fun with the colors. So I sure did, and I'm really proud of what I made, and hopefully you're proud of yours too. So I'm gonna go ahead and do what? That's right, we're gonna sign our name on here. Make sure everybody knows that this is our drawing. Thank you guys so much for sticking around and drawing with me today. I tell you every time, but this is like my most favorite part of the day. So thank you. And remember, we do this Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So please subscribe. And oh, today is Friday. So guess what? At the very end of this, I'm gonna show off some of your work. You guys have been submitting so many amazing pictures of your work that I want to showcase some of that so you guys can see how amazing you are. So we're gonna show a little slideshow of everyone's work, and hopefully yours is in there. So stick around, check it out, and remember, be brave, be creative, but most importantly, be you. Alrighty, we'll see you guys next time.